Alright YouTube, this is Mr. Donut Will 13 back again with another Madden Ultimate Team video. I haven't said that in almost a decade now, but we're here on Madden 23, which is crazy to say, and still playing some MUT. I think right now in such a stat-starved game at the beginning, where we have very little speed in particular, I think people are really overlooking theme teams because of the seemingly difficult way to get speed. They have nerf theme teams so that you can only get one speed at 40 and then two speed at 50, as per always. But I don't think you have to compromise as many players as people think, and you still get the most God Squad lineups out of it. Now, unique to this team, the Patriots have a full elite O-line. They have incredible defensive backs. So right now, I really think the Patriots might have an edge over most God Squads even. And with Randy Moss coming out, that's a big reason why we're doing this. I think you can get the most out of your lineup if you go about it this way. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about how to build a theme team, and then we'll show off a couple of the Patriots and why this team is so good. To start with your theme team, we're going to go to your strategy item. You need to have this team's affinity strategy item. It gives +3 to your team chem. The Patriots would only get to 49 without this, so you absolutely have to have it. There's just no way around it. You can't make a theme team without these items. You have to be willing to pay the 30 to 100K-ish premium, depending on the market. They're worth having. You're going to use it all year anyway. You might as well buy it. I don't think you should pay over 100 for it. Just be a little patient, but they're around. They're certainly around. Your team is out there. Cowboys fans might be tougher to get yours. You guys are insane, so those are a little more rare. We'll go over to the offense, and we'll take a look here. You see Moss, again, not out yet, but you'll have to just envision him here. Moss and Tyquan Thornton are a big reason why this team works. They will be 6'2" with 88 speed on Tyquan Thornton and 6'4" with 89 speed on Randy Moss. Now, for most people, these cards are the fastest players on their team at stock, at 86 speed and 87 respectively. Having that boost, that edge, there's going to be very few corner cores that can keep up with that. Most people's best corners are, Jalen Ramsey. You'll see a lot of L'Jarius Sneed. You'll see a lot of Farley. But that's speed that you still really can't keep up with. Now you're looking at the rest, it's not a very deep receiving core. That's not necessarily true. We're going to go and reorder the lineup here once we get into a game, and it's going to look a lot better than you think. You'll see I've used the fullback position, something that the Patriots can't fill, and most teams won't be able to fill. There are very few fullbacks in the game in general. Patriots don't have any. So I can just use two players who I'd want activated and put them in the fullback position. Joe Mixon, I want him as my starting running back. He's so good. There's no way I start Cordero Patterson or Damian Harris, especially whenever I have the opportunity here to start Joe Mixon. Donald Parham, best tight end in the game for now until probably Tony G comes out, but you got to play him. I think this is a great person to put at your fullback position. Even if you do have a fullback, put him at fullback 2. I think he's worth it. I think he's the guy that you really want in your lineup, and tight ends are a little bit harder to get in your lineup. They only really fit in the receiver role, the tight end role, and the fullback role. So if you're going to do a burn position somewhere, put it in fullback. I could have put another lineman here if I wanted. You get 55 total players in a lineup. Like I said, the Patriots, you get 2 burn positions, so you only need 47 with the strategy item. 47 total Patriots, giving you 8 players that you can have from your God Squad otherwise. So I've chosen not to get an O-lineman. You could put a new right tackle there if you want, but I think the O-line's in the worst place it's been since the Nano days, and that's a shame, but we're here, and it's just what we got to deal with. The Patriots still uniquely have an incredible O-line at all elites. Very rarely is that done out the gate of a game, so pretty fortunate there with the Patriots. Hunter Henry, pretty decent tight end still, especially with the theme team boost. He'll have 85 speed, so definitely worth having in the lineup. On the defensive side of the ball, and why this Patriots theme team is just so good, we have a really good set of defensive backs. Now, for now, I am still starting L'Jarius Sneed. He's still the best corner in the game, in my opinion. With all the speed he gets, the activated abilities, I just think he's worth having out there. That said, eventually I'll have an 89 Stephon Gilmore to play, and he will probably boot Sneed off the team because Randy Moss will fill this spot on Saturday with his cornerback card coming out. Not a huge fan of out-of-position cards coming out so early, but you take what you get, and at 6'4", most people are probably going to start him with 86 speed. Mine will have 88, and I just don't see how that doesn't play on most people's teams. Micah Hyde is probably the star of the show, though. If you have a theme team, you should probably try first, as far as big cards go, to get your divisional captain, if you will. Micah Hyde's the AFC East divisional captain, which I'm pretty thankful for because he's so good already. But with the Patriots theme team, he becomes probably one of the best defenders in the game with 90 speed, 89 zone, 86 man, which is just insane, at least at the very beginning of the game, where everybody else just doesn't even get close to this. Aside from Micah Hyde, you're going to get players that probably usually wouldn't make your team, like Adrian Phillips. He starts at 84 speed. He's not a great elite, but with the theme team, he looks pretty decent. 86 speed, 88 excel. Yeah, you'd take that on your back end. Well, that's most people's fastest players. So he'll be my other safety. And then my linebackers, again, linebackers just don't jump this year. They're really not worth having. Jawan Bentley's not all that bad, but my linebackers that are going to be my sub-linebackers here in the specialist category are Eric Rowe and Kyle Duggar. We'll talk about specialists and special teams in a moment, but Eric Rowe and Kyle Duggar, they're both 6'1". They both have 87 speed. I'd probably use Kyle Duggar and let Eric Rowe do his own thing just because of the coverage stats, but they're both really good players and really nice players to have running around out there for you. J.C. Jackson's the final, I think, big piece part of this team. He has 87 speed and 91 man. Now, I get it. He's 5'10", but so is Tyreek Hill. And, again, there's just not a lot of players that have a ton of speed that are really all that tall. Randy Moss is going to be a big exception, Tyquan Thornton. But that's only a couple of inches, so I really don't think it'll make too much of a difference out there. At least right now. I know mossing's a big part of the game. Try to match up accordingly. Maybe you want J.C. Jackson on a different receiver, but that's my recommendation with him. I still think you got to play him with those speed stats, with those coverage stats. Jalen Mills just kind of a fill player. Malcolm Butler just kind of a fill player. Those guys don't really play. On the edge, I have T.J. Watt. I think he was worth using as my other burn player in this case. He's so good for me. In general, I think he is worth activating, and that's why I've decided to go with him as my last burn player. If he starts not working out, maybe we look somewhere else. But the Patriots theme team, the one weakness is probably pass rush, with Chandler Jones and Matthew Judon being the best. So I really do think you need to burn at least one on pass rush. If you want to use Garrett, that's fine. I think he's really good. Donald, I think you need more outside pressure than inside. They have decent inside guys with, I'd say, Chandler Jones. And you can use Sam Adams. For team captains, that's another huge part about building theme teams. You can use your team captain anywhere. I originally chose Sam Adams to fill out the theme team a little more and just give better overalls. But I think in hindsight, I'll probably add that Keyshawn Johnson to the receiving core. And then we'll probably have a fourth. There is four Patriots defensive tackles, which is nice to have. So it depends on your theme team construction, but with the Patriots, that's why this works out so well. I'll probably put Chandler Jones at defensive tackle with Godchow and Guy behind him. So still have TJ Watt, Matthew Judon as your pass rush. To specialists and special teams, that's the key to building theme teams, really. Again, you get 55 total players, and you have the opportunity in kick returner and punt returner to put players in that wouldn't usually make it. These players will never apply to your theme team anyway, as far as chem goes. So just put in the players you want. Most people aren't rocking theme teams, so you're not missing out on anything by having them over here instead. Now, you are going to have to reorder them, but I think it's worth the pain if you're getting +2 speed on your Randy Moss cards and your Micah Hyde card for that matter. Devin Singletary, Corey Davis, Jalen Waddle, I think they were all worth having on the team. People are loving this Kaiir Elam, so am I. He's 6'2", 86 speed. He's a great corner for me. The big hit on a theme team is you do lose out on Justin Tucker. I can't justify burning a theme team point on Justin Tucker. I just don't think that's worth it, but it is noticeable not having that 15 yards of range, extra 15 yards of range, I should say, that Justin Tucker has. Into the specialist category, and we'll talk about Tom Brady here, because if you didn't want TJ Watt at the pass rush area activated, the Patriots have 2 right outside linebackers I could put in here. So I could still start TJ Watt by reordering him in the lineup because he's over here existing in my specialist area, right? I could put another Patriot here and then start not Tom Brady. I know a lot of people are going to have a little bit of beef with Tom Brady starting at quarterback. If you really think you need Aaron Rodgers right now or Ritter maybe, that's fine. You can go with them, activate them, have that burn position here instead of the D-line, but you still end up getting TJ Watt because of this specialist area. So don't be turned off just because you're only using Tom Brady. Right now, I think quarterbacks just kind of suck in this game. None of them are really going to give you much more of an edge. I know they have quicker releases than Tom Brady, but it's not all that different. No one's really any bit more accurate than the other. There might be throw power differences. We have yet to tell. Jalen Hurts gets to 90 throw power, so maybe that'll make a difference, at least with my chemistry boost that I have on strategy items. He does, so we'll see. For now, I'm just going to use this Tom Brady. I don't think it's worth not using him on the theme team for. So back to specialists. Again, this is where you could see Joe Mixon, who's going to start at third down running back, power halfback. Got Corey Davis in the slot. You can really customize your team the way you prefer it, regardless of being on a theme team. This is where you can add those players that you wouldn't usually get. So that's the gist of the Pats theme team and why I think it's so good uniquely right now. In a couple of weeks, there might be other theme teams that are worth building, but I don't think you should overlook building a theme team unless it's not possible, depending on how many elites you get. I think it's nice to have the all-elite O-line. I think it's nice that the Patriots get so many DBs right now, but eventually all the other theme teams are going to catch up. They're going to get cards, and they'll be able to do this too. It's just right now the Patriots have a unique case with Randy Moss coming out on both sides of the ball that you really can beef up your team. So let me know what you guys think. I know it's been a bit longer of a video just to explain a theme team, but put any comments you have below. I do have some coins, so if you want to see a different theme team build and maybe how to build it out, I'd be happy and try to do so. But yeah, put that in the comment below. That's all for me today, guys. I hope you have a good one.